Hey guys, it's Philip from the Honda Resource. Thanks for joining me on this episode. So today we're working on a 97 2001 Honda CRV, and we're going to be replacing the driver side window regulator and motor. This particular one, the regulator failed. I guess some of the teeth stripped out on it or something, but they've got some wooden blocks holding the window up. So we're going to go ahead and get that replaced, and I'll bring you along with me. I'll show you the tools you'll need and the parts you'll need so that you can do this right at home. All right, so to begin with the tools that I'm going to be using, I've just got a little Milwaukee 3/8 impact. You can use a regular 3/8 ratchet or whatever variation of ratchet you have, as long as you have a little extension and a 10mm socket. We use a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. It's just a number 2 Phillips head and then just a regular old flat blade screwdriver. So that's the tools that we'll need for this job, and now we're going to get started. All right, so here we have our new regulator. I actually picked this one up off of Rock Auto, and on Rock Auto you can get this for about anywhere from $40 shipped to like $70 shipped, something like that. And at the actual part store it's about $80. So if you go to like to AutoZone or somewhere like that, it'll run you about $80 to buy this replacement. All right, so to begin with, just take a flat blade screwdriver. We're gonna get behind the speaker grill and pop it out. All right, that gives us access to the bolts that hold the door panel into the door. Let me show you those real quick. So the one, we're not looking at these that actually hold the speaker onto the door panel. We're looking at the ones that are in this hole. There's a hole right here, right there, and there's one right there. That's the 3 that we need to get out. Don't worry about taking the actual speaker out. Just extra work for nothing. And then also, while we're down here, we're going to take out this screw, there's a screw right here. We'll take out this little plastic piece here. It's a little tin or a little Phillips head piece there in the middle of it. And there's also a Phillips head right there on the handle that we're going to have to remove. So that's all the screws that we'll have to remove. And also, if you have a magnet, it may help you too, just so you don't lose these screws. We'll put those back in. So on this, you just start unscrewing it, and then when it gets almost out to the edge, you can just tug on it, and usually it'll pull the whole little piece out. You can see how that screw goes in at an angle. You can see that one's kind of an angle too. That one don't have a screw in it either. This one's a special screw, just to keep it from breaking the bezel when you tighten it down. It's got a little shoulder on it, keeps it from going in too far. All right, so then we have to take off the handle. All right, so you slide it forward and you'll see how it popped out. Pull it out. All right, so when removing this handle, there's a little tab right here on the bottom of this wiring harness. Push that in and pull down. See a little tab. All right, and on this side, so this is the little clip that holds the rod in to open the door. So you just take a flat blade and you push it off the little clip off the rod. And spin it around a little bit, like so. And you just pull up on that rod with your screwdriver and come up out of there. And then you got your handle out. And now we need to take this black piece out right here. Again, you can take your flat blade screwdriver, get in at the top, pry out just a little bit. Don't get in too big of a hurry with this. It just has 2 little clips right here that hold it on. So now you're ready to take the door panel off. You just get at the bottom and kind of work it out. It still has a couple clips on it. All right, then once you get here, unplug the speaker. All right, this has a little tab on each side of it. Can't really see it, but just get it and pinch it like this. See how it has those tabs on each side of it? And pull it straight out, and we got that out. All right, so now we've got the door panel off. This door has had some kind of work done to it before, because you see how this plastic is? Factory has plastic over this whole, pretty much this whole panel. So you can rip it out, or you can take like these little bolts out here, and then you can take most of it and just peel it out. This has a really sticky glue all the way around it. That's what this is, some of the glue residue. But you can see it's already out of this one. So what we need to do, so since we can't get to the bolts that hold the regulator, onto the window, we just need to take out these 4 bolts that hold in the window motor. And then once the motor is unbolted, it'll let the whole thing come down. This wiring harness right here is the one that goes to the window motor. You can see I've got my arm in here holding up the bottom of the window just so it don't fall down and break. But now we can ease this window down. And hopefully we can get it to the point that we can get these bolts out. Generally, you can access the bolts, like I think from the speaker hole here and from right here. And they're 210 millimeters. Right there's my bolt. This will be a little easier going back together when the window regulator and motor is actually functional. You'll see in a minute. All right, so I got the 2 bolts out of the window. So now I'm just gonna pull the window out. And so I just pull it out from the outside going up. You can see here, this is where the window bolts in. Those 2 spots. And now we got to remove this tin and this tin. And the rest of the regulator should come out. So there's that. See how that was moving there? That's why we're replacing this. So here we have our replacement. And so it goes in with these flat side where it bolts in towards the cabin. All right. This is our little piece that bolts in here, and then our window will bolt onto this part. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my bolts. All right, take this little red clip out. It held the old harness. Then our little wiring harness comes through this hole. It's gonna clip in right there, and then clip our door harness into it, like so. All right, and then we'll put this little black piece I was showing you that bolts onto the door. All right, and we tighten these 2 down. All right, now we should be able to go ahead and put the key in and turn the power on. Then we can use our window switch. See how it's working there? So we want it to where it's about right here. That way we can put the window back onto it properly. All right, so putting the window in, like I mentioned earlier, I do it from the outside of the car. And you see how I got it at an angle. Slide it down. Make sure you're putting it into the track. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say the track. All right, so this groove in here is where the window resides. That's the track. All right. You can see I put it down into the track, but now it's not all the way down to where it needs to be to bolt in. So what I'm gonna do now is I like to hold back on the window, down and back. Basically, I'm pushing it into this track, but I'm also pulling it down until I get it down to where it bolts on. So there, now I've got my pieces to line up here. I put my bolt in. All right, so I got this bolt started back here. Now I got to start the bolt up here. So I'll bring the old one over here for reference. So once I get them started, I've started them with when they were at the big hole. So now what I got to do is it sits in there like this. Now what I got to do is I just got to slide this piece to where the bolt goes into the little groove here. And once it's in the little groove, you can go ahead and tighten it down. All right, so now we can go ahead and test our window. Make sure it functions properly, and it does. So I like to assemble everything, putting the door panel, all that stuff back on with the window down. It's just easier to work with, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Well, my lighting diminished a little quicker than I had anticipated there. It's a good old fall day here in Alabama, and it's actually New Year's Eve. I have to work tonight too, dadgummit. Hopefully you were able to get the gist of how to do the window motor and your CRV. Again, I'm no professional. I just do this stuff DIY, DIY repair. I've been doing some DIY repair. Well, I actually kind of have a little shop in my backyard, but I don't call myself a professional. So hopefully a lot of my techniques and tools I use is stuff that you can relate to, or tools you may have, that kind of stuff. And maybe you can save $1 on fixing your Honda. If you found this video helpful, make sure you check out the playlist at the end of the video for the first generation Honda CRV. And as always, I appreciate the likes, the comments, and the subscribes. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you in another video. Peace.